here you go. We are Thursday again. I watched a couple of videos on that I've done on YouTube, and I seem to start most of them off with hello, welcome to Thursday. So I tried not to do that, but we'll try again next week. What are we doing today? We're doing the Traveller's Crossbody. It's something that I saw again when you look through the internet and everything, and I thought, how can I make that work? And I thought, well, if I made it like Pocket to Go in the same sort of way, it should work. So I made it like Pocket to Go, but in an odd shape. They do look odd shapes, don't they? I keep looking at them and thinking they're a bit odd, but the whole idea is that you can move your the crossbody, the strap, to wear it in different positions. Okay, so that's my idea. That's my idea. Whether or not it's gonna be a thing, I've done a full pattern. I meant to put it on the website, but I've been busy this morning. The idea is that this bit is going to sit under there, okay, so that you would wear your crossbody coming down that way. Okay, I haven't done a strap, I'm afraid. So it sits like that, and then if you was to use that one, it would twist. So it's in the shape it is because it misses your hip bone here and misses your boob. Okay, and because I use batiks, there is no right or wrong way, and I started this one the wrong way round. So you can make it either way depending on how you do the pattern, but you have to make up your mind which way you want to do it to begin with. Okay, so there is a pattern, there's a template. I made it just from pieces of paper, but I stuck them together and then drew a couple of lines and went, yeah, that'll do. But the template will come like that and you put it together. Okay, and then there's a full photo tutorial to go with it. So what do you need to make this? First of all, we're going to say hello. Hiya Heather, your square turned up today, this morning. Very nice. I like the horse in the middle. Hiya Kate, hiya Jean, and Jane. Have you missed much? No, I've just been wibbling on. I was watching some of the YouTube ones, and people have been commenting on some of them, and some of them say, oh, there's too much horsing around, you didn't get to the point fast enough. So I thought, to begin with, I would show you what we're making. I will show you again before we start sewing and everything, just so that people who are finding us on YouTube know what we're doing. Okay, you need a fat quarter of your outside fabric, and you need, it's probably under half a metre of your lining fabric. However, there's no reason why your lining fabric can't be just made up of fat eighths of a lot of different ones. You're not going to see it. It's on the inside. It's not as if it's a reversible or anything. It's all on the inside, so you can't see any of it. You know, I've got really good posh lining in this one, and it's just a waste really because you can't see it, but it was the only creamy colour I had. And this one, I've got the same lining because I had a little bit left, but then I've also got a grunge on the inside of this one. So you open this, see, not really going to see it. So, right. And so, without further ado, we also need, I've used the fusible fleece, so it's fusible on one side. It's the 60/40, I think, on the website. I did think I could use Bosal or something, but you're going to try and get it out quite a small hole. But there's no reason why you couldn't use your polyester or your 80/20 and spray baste it on. Okay? And you need 2 zips, and you need some D-rings. And at home I had these. Bought loads of these, probably an eBay thing. in 4 different sizes. They're the keyring ones. So I'm going to use those. All right. Now, I forgot to bring instructions with me, so bear with me. We're making this up as we go along. However, by now I've made quite a few of them, so we're okay. So let's put that down. No, I'm going to put these where I can see them because that's the bit that I forget to do. Okay, let's go over to the overhead. Over to the overhead. So who have we? Yeah, we like the chat, Jean. But I suppose if you're finding us on YouTube for the first time, if we've talked for 20 minutes about things, then yeah, it becomes, they're looking for a tutorial, really. They're not looking for us as a chat thing. Right, I only put this on the back, okay? See, it's fusible on one side. I only put it on the back. I didn't think it needed to be on both. Now, this is the new stuff in. This is, what's it called? It's a Marble Studio. And we've got it in a rainbow of colours. Isn't it beautiful? Now, Linda said she wanted this one because I don't need 3. So she picked the fabric. Good choice, eh? So, it's slightly directional, so I am going to cut it. I've folded it sideways rather than on. You don't use the whole lot, but when I do these things, I'm going to cut it all in one go. So I'm going to put my fusible fleece face down on my back piece, okay? So that's my back piece there. Don't need all of it. Should we chop that off there? Like that. And then I'm going to fold this over. So I know that my back piece is right side down and my front piece is right side up. Then I'm going to take my lining fabric and I'm going to place this. I need 4 of my lining fabric, so they are right sides together, so that when I lay that on the top like that, sorry, I just hit the camera. When I lay that on the top like that, I know that I've got 2 going the opposite way to the other, so that I can have a front and back in my lining. Okay. I'm going to line all that up and I'm going to take my template and I'm going to place it over it. Alright, now if I can find that'll do, I think. How do I twist that? Oh, like that. We've got these in the shop too. They're called So Tasty and we've got them in blue and white. So I'm going to do this and I'm going to just draw around so that I can see where I want to cut. Is that showing? Yeah. Okay, so these pencils are washable. So I've not used one before. It's not very dark. But the nice thing about it is you've got white ones as well. So they'll work lovely on dark fabric.
Do you want the bricks on?
No, it's coming out dark enough that I can see it. Sarah's working from home, so I've got backup there if I chop my finger off or something. Yeah, right. So I've drawn my template there. Can you see that? All right. So I am just going to chop this out. So we're going to do that like that. Might have to stand up in a minute. like that. We're going to round off the corners then. Okay, like that. Now it looks an odd shape, I'll give you that, but this will actually work at any shape you want. Okay, it doesn't have to be this shape. If you didn't like it being odd, you could make a normal crossbody from the pattern by making your own template. I mean, I generally start with a piece of A4 paper and just go from there. Now I'm cutting it all out together because I want it to all be the same, and this is the easiest way for me, and it's nice because there's a new blade in here, I think. Don't copy the way I use my blade. Hopefully Sarah's not watching. Right, okay, so we've got all those. Now we're going to need some of this blue afterwards. So just chop these off here like that, and we can get our anchors and things out of that. There we go. So we now have our shape. Okay, so if we pull this apart now, we're going to want your back piece face down and your fusible on top, which is still not fused. Then you're going to need, for your back pocket, you're going to need one right side up, one right side down. Okay, then you're going to need another one right side up, which is the inside of your front pocket, one right side down, which is the back of the front unit, and one that way up of your thingy fabric. Excuse me. Now we're going to deal with these first top two. All right, so you want them wrong sides together like this, and you are going to work out where this line here, which is on the pattern, this is where you're going to put your zip. Okay, and we're just going to cut that, and this is, there we go, like that. Now if I line that up on a line, I can just cut it on that line. Which line was it? That line there. Okay, so we're going to cut it on that line, and all we're doing is cutting straight across. Okay, so we now have our pieces. Right, I'll leave those to one side. From this bit here, so fabric's beautiful, isn't it, Kate? It's lovely, 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 lovely stuff. Right, I'm going to cut that bit off there, and we want zip tabs. If we cut everything at 2, that'll work. Okay, so we want 4 zip tabs. So they're 2 wide, and we're going to make them 2.5 long. You don't actually need them that long, but we're going to do 2.5 long, like that, because it will make it all exactly the same. And then you want 3 anchors at 2.5. 2.5. Look at that. We've got 4 anchors. I did put 4 on the first one, but then Dave and I, when we were looking at it, we decided that we probably didn't need quite so many anchors. Right, now your zips, we're only using 7 inches of the zip. Unfortunately, these were the only ones I could find. So they're quite long ones. I've got an 18 and a 16, but we're going to make them a 7-inch zip. Okay, so you're all still with me. You're all still with me here. Now, with your tab, okay, you're going to put it right sides down with the right side of the zip. Okay, now you don't want to be sewing over this bit here because it'll break your needle. Now we've got a 16-inch zips and I only want 7, so I'm going to put this tab here and I'm going to sew across here in the middle. Okay, and we're going to do that with both of them. I might as well do them both together. So we're going over here. So that's all right, you latecomers. You just have to make sure that you bring me cake. If you're late, I deserve cake. Right, okay. So we're on normal. I think, let's bring that up a bit. Sarah's been sewing here. I don't know how she can sew with this camera still there. No. Bring that up. Does that work? Do with, I think it's coming stuck. Oh, there we are. You might find it just goes badoing in a minute. That's better. There we go. So I'm just coming, it's a plastic zip, so it's okay to put my needle over it, or acrylic or whatever it is. And we're just going to fold that back like that. Okay, we're going to chop this bit off. We're going to repeat that. Now I always start at the end of the zip. It doesn't have to be the end, you could start at the top if you wanted. Right, so I'm just going over here. There we go. So we've done those 2 zips. Then what we're going to do, where am I? What am I doing? 3, isn't it? Right, with this, you're going to fold it back like that. I'm going to put that on that line there, and I'm going to count. I want 7 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and I'm going to want to put that. I fold that one like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And put that there, like that. I'm going to pin that in place there. Should miss it then, like that. I'm going to do the same with this one. Let's change it. Like that. We want this one to be 7 as well. Okay, so we're going to fold that in half so that we have a line, and I want that to go there. Oh, can you see? Yeah, you can see that. I'll pin that in place there as well. Okay, like that. Ta-da! And we're going to sew those together. Now hopefully this will all work quite quickly and we'll get most of it finished. If not, I'll be back next week to finish it off. Oh. That pin got stuck. I've got a stuck pin. I put it on the wrong side, obviously. There we go. There we go. That's one. Put that one there and take that one out. Like that. Just slide that one in there. Oh. There we go. So we have these 2 bits. Oh, didn't remind me how to move my zip puller, did you? No, you didn't. So we'll be back next week with part 2, I think. It's a poster to move your puller. Did anybody notice that you've made cakes this morning, Leslie? Well, just drop some back. Drop some down for me. Right. The right way to do this is move your puller, your zip puller, into the area that you're not going to use. You're not going to sew over. So I'm going to redo that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There. So you need to pull them close together. I thought it was going to far too swimmingly. Okay, so gonna hold the zip together. Now, of course, you can pin this. There we go. That's one. It's a good job I noticed before I actually chopped the pullers off, because that would have been disastrous. I'd have chopped it off. Right, I'm just unpicking this one. Hang on, I'll be back now. Right. So I'm doing that. So did Sarah show you the new jelly rolls and layer cakes in store yesterday? I know that they were mentioned. I think Sean mentioned them in the newsletter last night. If you've not joined our newsletter yet, then now is a good time. They come out approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, approximately every 2 weeks, I think. There we go. Right, I'll just do this one. I think that's about a 7. It's all moved again. Okay. Okay. Whew. Well, I don't know about you, but I've gone all warm. Right, there we are. We have 2 7-inch zips-ish. And we are going to chop that off there. Like that. We'll probably chop them a bit more later. Make sure you chop it on the right side of your zipper tabs. There we go. Right. We're cooking. Seems an awful waste of zip. Right, we're going to take our first zip, okay, we're going to take our outer fabric and we're going to place our zip right sides together with our fabric, and you want it pretty central, okay, like that. And we're going to take our our lining fabric, and we're going to put it on top, right sides together. Now, if you're not used to doing a zip, then you could baste this. If you baste it by hand, put a couple of running stitches through, it's better than if you've used pins. I'm a bit lazy and it's not a big zip. I just keep making sure that they're all together. So we are going over to here. I'm going to change this foot for the normal foot. Okay, and I'm going to move the needle over to the left. Okay, so it now lines up with this. Now, I know a zipper foot would get you closer to the zip, but I like it away from my zip a little bit because I tend to manage to get the zip all caught up. So it's just something that I do because I've found it easier over time. But there's no reason why you can't be using your zipper foot to do this bit. Right, so I've come along until I got to my pull, and I'm going to rotating, and then I'm going to fiddle with the zipper pull and close it up again. Eliminate zipper pulls. These zips don't seem to slide very well. They could do with a bit of silly slide on it, I think. There we go. So gently pull your zipper pull up and then continue to the end. There we go, all the way to the end. There we go. So we've got to here. Now, if you pin it all and everything, you probably will keep it all together better. Right, so I've folded that back. I'm going to fold this bit here. Am I in the right one? Yeah, like that. Which will bring all this pretty well together. This will be within the seam allowance, okay? So it'll be fine. Now I'm going to just pin it here and I'm going to top stitch. Okay. So I'm putting this down and pinning in place so that it doesn't move when I get over there. There we go. Oh! Don't stick the pin in your hand. There we go. So that's the first bit. Now we're going to, rather than going back and top stitching that, what I'm going to do is show you how to do this. So you start off, this is your top piece, okay, and that's going to go there. All right. So you're going to start with this top piece. I'm going to turn it upside down, like that. Make sure it all stays together, like that. And we're going to put this the piece with the zip in it, face down on top. Now, you want to make sure it's all lining up. Okay, otherwise you'll have a squiffy bag. Okay, so you want it all to line up there like that, and then we're going to line this up like that and up. Okay, there we go, and we're going to sew that in place there. So we're going to go back over to the machine, and again I'll leave my zip over to the left, and I'm going to just sew this in here. Now this crossbody body is big enough for you to put your passport and your travel documents in. The idea is that it'll sit under your clothes, your jacket, if you wanted to keep all your documents safe. You know, it's safer than having them pickpocketed, and it's designed to lie flatter on your person. Okay. Again, we've got to the zipper pull. find it and open it up like that, realign everything. You can see that I keep an eye on that. I just found it easier than playing with the pins, but there's no reason why you can't baste it in place. There we go. So we now have this on the top. So if we close this zip up again, like that. It's a good way of putting zips in as well, because everything is flat. You know, even this next zip bit goes in flat. Okay, so there we have it. Now we're just going to put top stitching on there. Now if I was at home, I would top stitch with blue, but we've got, I think it's a cream actually. And we're just going to line up the edge of my foot with the edge of my fabric here, and just top stitch it so you know that it's going to stay in place and it won't catch in the zip when you're opening it. There we go. Okay, and again on the other side. Okay, so we now have a front unit. Okay, so at the moment when we open our zip there's nothing at the back, so we're going to flip this over and we're going to take our next piece of lining, we're going to put that right sides together with the one that we already have, and then we're going to pin that in place that. I don't know what Sarah's watching. What are you watching?
Station 19.
It's very angst ridden. Station 19 is not one I've watched. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to top stitch at 1/8 of an inch all the way round. Okay, so I'm going to move my needle back to the middle, and on my foot I've got some markings there. I'm going to follow the smallest marking, and we're going to just follow the smallest marking. I'm going to follow the marking closest to the right hand side. Okay, so I'm just going all the way round. You don't need to leave a gap. I'm just going all the way round. Now if you've made the pockets go, you'll see that it's exactly the same. It's amazing when you've been making things for a little while that you start to see the patterns, you know, that they can be pretty interchangeable. And that's a bit warm. Keeping an eye on the edge of my lining fabric. Now I haven't included how to make a strap at the moment, because I was doing this at 6:30 this morning. So, but we do explain in other patterns how to do that. Right, we're going all the way around. We're going to stop that there. Okay, I missed a bit down there, but we'll catch that. Missed a bit here, but we'll catch that in the seam. So now we can chop off our excess here. Okay, so we're gonna just chop this off here and on here. Okay, so yeah, I'm with you, Jean. I've started to use bigger zips. However, I have a big box full of zips of all sorts of shapes and sizes. I used to buy all mine from a Chinese site called Wish. I used to find them, you buy them in packs of 10 and they're pretty good. I should have started a little bit earlier than that. Right, so we're at that point now. So we now need to put the zip in here. Okay, so where's our bits? There it is. Let's get rid of that. We need to put the zip in this bit here. So we're going to start off with placing that in place, placing it in place by there. Right side of the zip to the right side of our pocket unit. We're going to then take our next piece of this. That's going to fold back. Yeah, that'll be right. So this is going to be placed on there. Now you want to marry up the sides and make sure they're pretty close. Okay. You're going to find that you want this one to fit at the corners all the way round. The next one is sort of slightly off centre, so we're going to do this. See? I'm not very good at multitasking. Anybody that knows me will know this. So to read your comments and do this, I find very difficult. So by the time I get to your comments, I've already made the mistake. So thanks, Anne. So we're coming down and we're putting the zip. I haven't moved my needle, so I'm going to move the needle over, and I'm coming down here like this, and I'm feeling all along for my zip, which has gone a bit squiff. I'm going to caught it now. And I can feel my pull here, so I'm going to find the pull and bring it over. Now if you haven't got a machine that lifts its own foot, before you move the pull, lift the foot. I think this one's going to be a bit squiffy. I'm going to have caught it all. So I'm going to come along here. Come all the way down to the end. So that's the first side of the zip now. Okay. There we go. We put the first side of the zip in. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to put the the top stitch in here because I want this to sit flat. Because there's more bulk in this one than in the last one because of the amount of fabric in the bottom in this top bit. So we're going to stick a what are they called? Camera. It's no good shouting at me, Jean. I can't hear you. Right. I'm going to put top stitch in now because there's a lot of bulk now in this front bit. Okay, so we're going to go along here and we're going to just put, see, I've moved the camera again, look, and we're just going to put the top stitch in there. So there we go. Okay, there we go. You can hear that there's more bulk in it just from the sound of the needle going through.
My brand new needle that I just put in. That's it.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, now you're going over zips and stuff.
Well, there we go. So we have our top stitch. I'm back. We have the top stitch. Right, so we now need to put the back on because this zip is going to sit like that. Okay, so the back, we're going to start with our piece. We're going to just fuse the back to it. Just gives it that little bit of padding. There is, if you did it without putting this in, I don't really think, I think because it's sitting so close to your body, it won't really matter. You could put an interface in, just a normal interfacing in. Now we're going to want to put the zip is going to come along this bit here. Okay, so it's going to be like that. So we're going to lay this down. We're going to lie our zip on top of that. You can see where the overlap is here, but you still need to marry it up on this side and on this side. Now, before we go any further, this is the bit I normally forget. We haven't done our anchors and put our anchors in. So they're really simple anchors. You're just going to do like a bias. So you fold them in half lengthways and then fold them in half like that. So fold them in half lengthways, bring your outer edges into the middle like that, and then fold in half again. And we want 3 of them. Fold in half, bring your external edges into your crease, fold it and then fold in half again. Okay, so now you're going to top stitch. If you didn't, it wouldn't matter, but we're going to top stitch them right like that. Yeah, glue pen is always something that I forget, Jean. Somebody else mentioned glue pen, and I always forget. I mean, I've got one at home somewhere, and I totally forget to pick them up and use them. There's also a like a tape. You know, like a sellotape tape that you can use, which you don't have to remove again. It will wash out on your first wash or something. Okay. other side. And I'll make sure I keep an eye on where my needle is, because my needle is over. This every time. Okay. There we go. I mean, it's not a difficult make. It's not and it's not that time consuming really, especially if you cut them all out in one go. Right, we need to put one of our anchors. I'm going to base these first. We want one anchor up there in that top curve. Okay, like that. Now you could put your strap straight in there, because that one always seems to be the one that you use. So if you wanted to, instead of having a D-ring and strap in that one there, you could just put your web in or your strap in straight from that one and just have the hook on the other end. Right, we want one here. One there, one here in that curve there. So you notice that I'm putting my anchors so that they face inwards with my raw edges on the outside, because once you've sewn it they'll stick out. So you want one there and then one down here in this corner down here. Okay, and we're going to just put a couple of stitches in them to hold them in place. Okay, like that. We're getting there. It's 10 to. Should I leave it or finish it? Sarah, what do you think?
Sorry?
Should I leave it or finish it? It's 10 to. I'm going to put a zip on and then sew it up.
Finish it.
Finish it. You can always come back, ladies, if you have to go. Right, so we're just going to put... Sarah's foot is very tight. I'm going to put a couple of stitches there. And then we're going to come around and we're going to put a couple of stitches in there. That way we haven't got to worry about it when we're sewing it all together. Put a couple of stitches there. The stitches here just to hold them in place while we do the rest of it. Okay, there we are. We have that there. All right, so now we are going to put our zip on. All right, so we're going to line the end of the zip up, line up our edges here, and line up our edges on this side as well, like that. And then we're going to put this right sides together, so right side down along here. Okay. Open that a little bit. And we're going to make sure it all marries up. I was looking at that and I'm thinking, what bit's that? But it's not, it's the other one. Okay, so we're going to sew these together like this. So back over here. Like that. Okay. My needle's still over, so I'm looking for my the zipper bit, you know, the teeth, and I'm lining this edge of my foot up with the teeth and running it alongside it. Open that a little bit more. It's a lot easier to open it from halfway than it is from opening it from closed. Okay. Okay, so we now have a butterfly. Okay, so there's our butterfly. So we just need to put in that'll do. I think it'll be all right there. Right, we need to put in the top stitch there. So we're just going to need to put in the top stitch here. Okay, we've got a butterfly. So we're just going to put a little bit of an iron through. Make sure that's away from the zip. Like this. Okay. Right. So I'm going to leave the zip, what's the zip? I'm going to leave my foot, my needle where it is, and we're just going to run this along the side like this. I'll put this hook stitching in and hope that everything's flat underneath. Okay, final bit, we're getting there. So this one here, we now need to put make sure all your straps are in, okay? We're going to put our outers right sides together and our inners right sides together, our linings. And you're going to, at this point, we are going to pin it all together. Okay, now I'm going to mark here and here because I always forget where to stop. So just going round. So I've marked here to leave a gap open. And on here. This. I'm just pinning all this in here like this. Quickly pin it all through. Now you need to make sure that this zip is open before I start sewing. Otherwise you can't turn it out the right way. Now there's something for remembering, see? Otherwise you just can't pull it through. Okay, so there we go. This seems a bit bigger than that one, but it shouldn't be. Okay. Well, the weather is awful here. I don't know what it's like with you. It's really dismal. That snow yesterday was beautiful. It was really pretty. Right, so we now have a lopsided butterfly. Oh, look, it's a heart. And we're going to sew all the way round. I'm going to use edge of foot because I have a few discrepancies in where it's all going up, and I think if I did 1/4 of an inch I'm going to miss some of it, so I'm actually going to use edge of foot. So I'm going to move my needle back to the middle, and edge of foot should catch all of it in. Okay, so we're going to go around edge of foot. I'm going to start here and work our way all the way round. Okay, and then we should be done, apart from the strap. Okay, so move my needle back to the middle. There we go. So I did a lock stitch at the beginning because you're going to be pulling it out through that little hole. So there needs to be some sort of fail-safe that it's not all going to unravel on you. Now we know that we're not going to go over any metal bits for the zips, but you want to make sure your D-rings are out of your way. D-ring there. Make sure that's out of the way. Can't see anything. This thing needs re-sticking. I'm just coming all the way round. We'll come into the other zip here. Around the corner. There we go. So take the pins out. It's been an extra long one today, ladies. You might have to come back after tea time and just to have a look. Right, now we're going to birth the bag. I'm going to pull it out through this little hole here, which doesn't seem possible, but because I left the zip open, which is good, you could trim these bits, your corners. Okay, make sure you notch your corners so you can get them in. The notching is you've got to remember that if your curve goes out, it's convex, you need to notch, and if your curve goes in, concave, then you need to snip into it, apparently, and they fit better. But if you're pinking shears anything, it's gonna work, isn't it? Okay. Okay, so let's birth the bag. Is anyone still with me? Okay, so here we go. There we go. And we have now these pulls are good because they'll pull bits out. So you can in there and there, like that. And then there's another one here which will pull out your corner. So you want to get your prodder in. I've lost my owl. Where's the owl? There's the owl. You want to put a prodder in to get your seams out like this. Okay. Like that. So all you need to do now is make your strap. You need to put close the hole, okay? And then you have your traveller's bag. There you go. Bit of webbing on there, and you can then decide where you want to change it as you wish. There you go. It was a bit of a long one, hour. So there's your traveller's bag, crossbody. So I'll go over now and put the pattern on the website if anybody wants to have a go. You've not attempted a zip yet, James? I think, yeah, but I think it will work. I mean, I think when people start talking about using a zipper foot and everything, that's when people think, oh, I can't do it. But if you're putting them in flat and then building your bag around the zips, I think it's a lot easier. I haven't really put a zip in a garment ever, so I can't comment on that. But yes, I find if you make your bag flat, put your zip in and everything, when you fold it all up, it works. It works. So you're welcome. It's a long-winded, Lynn. It was long-winded, but you could embroider on the front of that piece before you put it into the bag. So that would be quite nice. You could put Lynn did a nice embroidered bear in the middle of her peekaboo one for the quilt. Looks lush. So there we go. Right, I'm going back to work. I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.